the violent birth of Earth's hidden continent, Zealandia, forged in a ring of fire, revealed by an expedition. This is on The Conversation. Professor Rupert Sutherland, Tectonics and Geophysics, Te Herenga Waka, Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand, and Gerald Dickens, Professor, Rice University. 3 years ago, the identification of Zealandia as a continent made global headlines, and now newly published results from our scientific drilling expedition reveal the largely submerged Zealandia continent, which stretches across 5 million square kilometers beneath the southwest Pacific Ocean, was shaped by two tectonic events. First, it was ripped away from Australia and Antarctica, and then it was carved by forces that started the Pacific Ring of Fire. Why Zealandia is so different to other continents? Zealandia has an unusual geography for a continent. More than half the surface area of the Earth's other 6 continents are composed of low-lying land and shallow seas, and they have relatively narrow margin ranges and steep continental slopes in the deep ocean. In contrast, Zealandia is mostly hidden beneath more than 1 kilometer of water and could be classified as more than 90% continental slope. This makes it a challenge to explore. The first scientific drilling expedition to sample in the area where we now know Zealandia took place in 1972 between Australia, New Zealand, and New Caledonia. The results suggested tectonic forces stretched and thinned Zealandia's crust until it was ripped from the ancient supercontinent Gondwana. This was about 85 million years ago, during the time of the dinosaurs. This created a deep ocean, the Tasman Sea. The evidence remains compelling that this is at least part of the answer to how the geography of Zealandia formed, but detailed surveys during 1990s and 2000s carried out to establish sovereignty over the Zealandia continental mass by New Zealand, Australia, and France suggested other contributing factors. How the Pacific Ring of Fire shaped Zealandia. In 2017, we led a 9-week expedition into the Southwest Pacific as part of the International Ocean Discovery Program, IODP. With 32 scientists on board, the research vessel JOIDE's Resolution, our aim was to unravel why Zealandia is so different from the other continents. Our newly published results have been drawn from that expedition 371, where we collected new samples and sought to test our hypothesis that formation of the Pacific Ring of Fire played a key role in shaping Zealandia. We collected sediment cores from up to 864 meters beneath the seabed at 6 sites far away from land or shallow water. At the deepest site, the water was 5 kilometers deep and our drill weighed 300 tons. We used fossils from 3 of the sites to show northern Zealandia became much shallower and likely even had land areas between 50 and 35 million years ago. At about that time, 2 other sites became submerged into deeper water, and then the whole region subsided an additional kilometer into the present depth. Now, you can see from the map that most of these underwater depths are, very shallow around the Zealandia continent between Australia and New Caledonia and New Zealand. They're quite shallow. Now, these dramatic changes in northern Zealandia, an area about the size of India, coincided with buckling of rock layers known as strata and the formation of underwater volcanoes throughout the western Pacific. The Pacific Ring of Fire is a zone of volcanoes and earthquakes running along the west coast of North and South America, past Alaska and Japan, and then through the western Pacific to New Zealand. The violent geologic activity in this zone reflects deeper unrest at the boundaries of tectonic plates caused by subduction processes, where one tectonic plate converges on another and sinks back into the Earth. We know the Pacific Ring of Fire formed about 50 million years ago, but the process remains a mystery. we propose a subduction rupture event, a process similar to a massive slow-moving earthquake, spread around the whole of the Western Pacific at that time. We suggest this process resurrected ancient subduction faults, which had lain dormant for many millions of years, but were primed to start moving again. This concept of subduction resurrection is a new idea and may help explain a range of different geologic observations. The subduction rupture event included unique geologic phenomena that have no present-day comparison, and there may have been fewer than 100 such massive events since Earth formed. Our new evidence from Zealandia shows these events can dramatically alter the geography of continents. What were the consequences of these geographic changes for plants, animals, and regional climate? Can we make a computer model of the geologic processes that happened at depth? We're still figuring some of this out, though we do know the event changed the direction and speed of movement of most tectonic plates on Earth. It was an event of truly global significance, and we now have really good observations and ideas to help us get to the bottom of what happened and why. So this was, as they said, about 50 million years ago. We know that 66 million years ago we had an asteroid strike on the other part of the Earth, not in the Pacific, but around Yucatan Peninsula, Central America, on the side of just west of the Atlantic Ocean. And that was what brought the extinction event of the dinosaurs and other, of course, animals and plants. So does that have anything to do with all this? Who knows? Anyway, they're still researching on this, and that's an amazing discovery. This is on The Conversations, Creative Commons. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.